Yo, what's poppin' everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Lesage here. Today we're going to be covering over one of the coolest new decks available in our format, Dragapult Xatu. While this deck was seeing some hype at the beginning of the format, it really didn't see that much success because Dragapult Charizard builds really took the torch and ran away from it. Nowadays, we have Cyrus Davis and Callie that have really been popularizing this deck in the Toronto area, and it's kind of catching on elsewhere. Is this going to be one of the sleeper decks for League Cups and League Challenges? Well, watch this video to learn more about their list, the strategy, the gameplay, and more. The list is available in the description for copy and paste, and if you need any of the cards, check out our sponsors at Kayfabe Cards, at PTCGL Store, the TSS website, and of course your local neighborhood GameStop. That being said, let's jump into this deck list. Dragapult is going to be one of the best Pokemon that we have available in our format. That's something that's not really up for discussion. Phantom Dive is an incredibly powerful attack where we're able to go 200 damage to your opponent's active and spread 6 damage counters however we like. Well, we got to power that up somehow. Decks like Charizard EX are built in, can accelerate energies, but we don't really necessarily have that going for us when it comes to Dragapult. We're always going to have to pair with something else or play Neo Upper Energy. In that case, we have Xatu. Xatu allows us to accelerate a Psychic Energy from our hand to one of our benched Pokemon, and we're able to draw a couple cards, having a draw engine. We could also pair that with Drakloak, which allows you to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, so we have a built-in draw engine similar to what we'd have a Barrel in a Charizard build, or any other popular deck. We have some cool little nifty techs, such as Tatsugiri, which can help us get some of our supporters, so we're able to relatively go Arven, search for a Technical Machine evolution, evolve our Pokemon, and really put ourselves in a position where we want to go for that turn 2, turn 3 attack, depending on whatever's going on. With the limited rare candies, we're really trying to go for that mid to late game kind of Phantom Dive, draw multiple prize cards, and really overwhelm our opponent with Phantom Dive after Phantom Dive after Phantom Dive. Compared to the other Dragapult Charizard build that I've already covered about last week, it's one of those decks where this Dragapult is going to be attacking with Dragapult a little bit more often, and since we're not really one-shotting the active, we're able to place those sneaky damage counters and really overwhelm our opponent with those damage counters and other techs that we might have, such as Technical Machine de-evolution. I'm going to be playing this deck, really showing you how this deck sets up, giving you a good idea, so stay tuned for that. If you haven't liked this video already, be sure to like this video and check out the description for all of the information on all of our sponsors. Let's get going into that gameplay. So we started off, our opponent won the coin flip, and I'd like to go second if that's okay. I mean, we'll see whatever our opponent lets. That's just so I can go Arven, Technical Machine Evolution, maybe get out a Buddy Poffin. We could start having a really good start there. That means on our second turn of the game, we're able to start really attacking. Now, that would have been a fantastic hand, at least with the double Buddy Poffins, but no supporter. I'm not going to complain about getting a mulligan there. As long as our hand's semi-playable, I'm okay with it. This is exactly what I'm looking for, to be honest. We got the Dreepy, we got a Buddy Poffin, we got an Arven, we can flood our board, we can go for Technical Machine Evolution, as long as we have it in our deck. If we don't, then it is what it is, and we'll just try to protect ourselves based off whatever our opponent does, getting an ideal setup based on our opponent's board state. So we're playing against Lugia. I'm assuming they don't play the Wellspring Ogerpon. If they put down a Minccino, it might be something to consider, but we'll see how they play it out. If they don't put down a Minccino, then they could be playing it, but we'll see what they get off the Capturing Aroma flips. For us, we don't really need to worry about Manaphy too much. That's the reason why I'm talking about Wellspring, because they could go Snipe. Iron Hands, so the fact that they're going with the Iron Hands Future Booster Energy Capsule, some really interesting gameplay. I haven't seen really this list. They could do 140 with Amp. I don't know if that's gonna help or hurt us too much, but I'd like to knock this out when it comes down to it. We don't really have a way to knock it out. We don't have Kieran, but we'd like to go for 200 on the active, 30 on the bench Iron Hands, maybe 30 elsewhere. They're not really getting off their chops, so we don't have to worry about that aggressive. I mean, so far maybe their hand's a little bit better than I thought, but they're not discarding chops, so that's what we're really worried about. When they discard the Archeops, things can get a little bit dangerous for us. Got the TM Evo already, so that's sick. I'm gonna go Buddy Pop and look through the deck. Now, I think what we're gonna go for here is a Natu and a Dreepy. Those seem pretty easy going for me. I'm not gonna risk this here. I think what I'm gonna go for is just go for a Buddy Poffin to get out some more, and we could grab a Forest Seal Stone just so we can go Ultra Ball for a Lumineon or something like that, or even a Rotom if we had to, so we can maybe draw through some other pieces. Let's go ahead and grab those. We would have grabbed the TM Evolution if we didn't already have it kind of in our hands, and we're gonna go Dreepy just in case our opponent does anything here with the Wellspring. I'm gonna keep it like on the real side. I'm gonna put out Manaphy. They also might play Iron Bundle, so that's something to consider as well there. Gotta love it when my camera's I'm just gonna fix that. Hopefully that's a little bit better. I gotta stop snagging some cords while I'm recording. I play around with my, I'm playing around, I'm kicking my feet, I'm excited. I got a good start playing a deck. And if we didn't get the TM Evo, we could have gone for a Rotom Star. Like, we had some pretty good starts with this deck. We're gonna go Evolution, and this is really where you want to choose your Pokemon correctly. I think since we already have the Drakloak in our hands, I'm gonna be searching for both a Xatu, and I would have been searching for a Drakloak. Know what you have in your deck beforehand. Like, if you had both Xatu's prize, don't necessarily be searching for those, because, I mean, you're not really gonna find it. So, something to consider there. Okay, they're gonna go for the fish. They might be able to go Jacques. Okay, no Jacques. Maybe they got the Archeops in hands. We'll take the slowest start from Lugia possible, because Lugia can actually be one of the more difficult matchups that we have here. One chops only, okay. So, you wanna know what? If we could maybe take that out with Boss's Orders. We do have the potential to knock it out the following turn. By evolving into a Dragapult EX, really kind of going for some of these bigger plays. So, and they only summon the one, so like, if they just knock out Dreepy, this could be bad for them. Tatsugiri might have been a card that we also wanted to put down on our bench instead of Manaphy, because I think Tatsugiri is also searchable by Buddy Poffin. Buddy Poffin 70 HP or less, so Tatsugiri sitting there at the 70 HP mark. Be a really good Pokemon to slap a rescue board onto. They also went with the Legacy Energy on the Lugia V-Star. So what I want to do here is I'm probably just going to send up our copy of Dreepy. Actually, you want to know what? I'm going to send up the Manaphy, because I can always put a rescue board on that if I really need to. The Alakazam is going to allow us to put 2 damage counters from one of our opponent's Pokemon to another one of their Pokemon. How am I going to get to this? I think what I'm going to start off with is I don't want to discard the Radiant Alakazam off the top. I think what I'm going to put down is like Radiant Alakazam and then maybe a Lumineon. So let's go for Recon Directive. Looking at a card to see what we can get here. The research is already going to kind of save us a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, just grab the research, and the way that I'm going to deal with this now is I'm no longer going to be going for the Forest Seal Stone strategy. I'm going to put the Radiant Alakazam there. I'm going to evolve in a Drakloak, and I'm going to go Ultra Ball, discarding the Boss's Orders and the Forest Seal Stone. I'd love to rip this Archeops to shreds. It's not really going to happen this turn, I don't think. I think what I'd really like to do is potentially attack with Dragapult into our opponent's active, and then start spreading some damage. I'm going to keep the Recon Directive until after I use Research, so we can see more cards from the deck. And we're going to go this to draw more cards. So I'd rather use, I think I want to use Xatu first, so I have more cards in my hand. Then I can make a better decision with Recon Directive, is kind of the sequencing that I'm going to be going with when it comes down to it here. So let's go ahead and go Clairvoyant Sense. We're going to attach the Psychic Energy over to our Dragapult EX. Please get a fire. No fire energy. We'll go Recon Directive. Maybe we'll get a fire energy here. we did get a Fire Energy. So what we're going to go ahead now is we're going to go Fire Energy onto our Dragapults. And what I'm probably going to go for is a Prime Catcher, just knocking out their Archeops so they have 0 response when it comes to the Pokemon they can attack with. So let's attack into that. Let's bring up the Archeops. I'd love to snipe it over a few turns, but I just really want to take a lot of these things out of there. Now, when it comes to what we can do to our opponents, I think what I'm going to go ahead here and it's knocked out by damage from an attack. We could maybe hit it with some damage counters. I don't care about the Lost Vacuum for the Forest Seal or for the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. I think I'm going to keep Enhanced Hammer in my hands. Not sure if that's the correct call, because like we could get rid of the Legacy Energy. I mean, I guess if forced our opponent find a double turbo, you want to know what? Let's go ahead, rip the double turbo, because I don't really care about Legacy Energy too much. And I'm going to go ahead and go 200. And I'm going to put the 6 on the Lugia because I think it's the closest Pokemon that we have to attacking us. I don't think we're going to get to the Iron Hands right away. Also, you should double check to see if your opponent has Mist Energy. Mist Energy would be something that would prevent the Dragapult, and it'd be very, very, very common when it comes down to it. So we'll see our opponent. We only took 1 prize card. We still have a few ways to kind of maybe attack, but the Radiant Alakazam here, you can see if they do, if this moves from the bench, the active spots, they might hit us, but we could also just move the 2 damage counters to the Weird Ear. And our opponent, yeah, they're just going to concede here. That's fine. I guess they didn't realize that they don't have Archeops anymore. Not sure, but we will take that dub. Okay, so we're waiting for our opponent to call the coin flip. Again, hoping we can go second. We'll see how it ends up playing out here. Some of these games, like if Dragapult's able to get a really good start, we're able to rip into our opponent, and we don't want to go first. So we could play that Arven, grab the TM Evo, and set up our board really nicely for that turn 2 attack. And you want to know what? Not the worst starts. I think what we're going to start off with here is Dreepy to me seems like a pretty decent start. And we'll see whatever our opponent has. We're playing against a Roaring Moon deck. So maybe we can get set up with a big attack the following turn, or like in a couple turns or something. 200 HP is still 200 HP. Even if they take a few prize cards, we're probably big chilling on those. Research honestly might not be the worst play here. When it comes to spreading damage counters to our opponent's other Pokemon, do I care about Radiant Alakazam? We're going 206, 206. We might be able to get there with Radiant Alakazam. I don't see an issue with that. I'm going to go Ultra Ball, discarding Rotom, and I'm going to be discarding, I guess at this point, Drakloak. Instead of the Rotom, I'm going to discard Counter Catcher, since I am just going to go ahead and pitch this hand away. We can't get an Energy and Technical Machine Evolution in the same go. So that's one of those things where I'm a little bit worried about it. I could go for Tatsugiri, but I think what I'd rather do here is just guarantee that we get out another Dreepy. So even if I have to attach an energy to the bench one, we have an opportunity to kind of get there. And I'm going to put the rescue board on Dreepy here. So not putting Rotom down, again, I don't want to offer 2 prize card liabilities. We don't really have a way to get out of it when it comes to this list, especially in this matchup. Not really a great setup here. I think what I'm probably going to end up doing here is putting a Psychic onto Dreepy. And I'm going to retreat into the Radiant Alakazam, letting our opponent get the knockout on it. Maybe I'll get Rare Candy Dragapults. I have Dragapult already. We might be able to get it, but I'd rather protect my things like Dreepy and just offer up this single prize card. Ancient Box typically only plays 1 boss's orders when it comes down to it, so we could be pretty okay. And yeah, looks like we're not getting bossed. Looks like they're not really going to do too much. Their deck really grows as we draw prize cards, so I'm okay with this across the board. I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw Vengeance Fletching, Knockouts, and we could send up our Dreepy with the rescue board, giving ourselves an opportunity to kind of play out whatever we really want here. The reason why this is a good matchup is they can't scale up to our HP very well. Their deck kind of caps around like 280 to knock out Bravery Charmed, Miraidon decks or Raging Bolt decks, kind of. Like they could hit for 330, but they can only do that attack like maybe once a game. And also we could draw multiple prize cards. We're going to start placing damage counters on that Greninja, so we could at some point draw multiple prize cards before our opponent can. So that's one of the reasons why we did not put Rotom down. I mean, it would have been fine to put Rotom down in this case because our hand kind of sucked. That research really was a lie. But they don't really have too much going on here. Like, they're going to be down to a 2-card hand. Likely didn't get too much off that. Going to knock out our active. Not an ideal Pokemon to knock out. Draw a singular prize card. They're at a 3-card hand. We still have some options. We might have to Iono our opponent. But we'll see however that happens once we get there. I'm going to send them to the one with the rescue board so we have more options. And we got Ultra Ball here. We get Ultra Ball for Lumineon Arven. I think that might be the best case. So what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm going to go for Drakloak because we might just be able to get what we need off Drakloak. If we get Rare Candy, I might just rip something else. We did get another Drakloak. At this point, I'm almost fine discarding it so we can get back with Super Rod. So let's go ahead and grab that. I'm going to go Ultra Ball, discarding Xatu Drakloak, probably better options than what we currently have. We'll go Lumineon, and did we have the Forest Steel Stone? No, we discarded Forest Steel Stone. So we can go Rare Candy and hit for 70. Yeah, probably not going to be a great case here. I think what we're going to end up doing is just grabbing another Drakloak. We're going to cancel whatever turn we thought we were going to have. I'm going to Super Rod back in some of those pieces. So sometimes this deck can like crumble a little bit. I feel like we're struggling here. It's a struggle game. Do I want to Iono or do I want to Recon Directive? Maybe I'll go Recon Directive. I could have done Recon Directive before Super Rod. That would have been a little bit of a better option. I'm going to go ahead and go Arven. Arven, search my deck for a Buddy Poffin and maybe a Technical Machine Evolution so we can get rid of that. Let's go Buddy Poffin here, searching my deck for a Natu and a Tatsugiri. Do I feel like I want to sacrifice another card? Let's go ahead here and just retreat into the Tatsugiri. That to me seems like the best Pokemon to kind of give up at this point. Arven might get us there. I mean, that gets us the energy, the Earthen Vessel. So you want to know what? Next turn we are attacking. We can go Arven, Earthen Vessel. Not really a tool for us to grab, but we could pitch that TM Devo. And if our opponent doesn't have an energy or anything else like that here, they're just going to go into a Vengeance Fletching. So I'm okay if we have a bit of a slow build-up. Definitely a bit of a tough pill for us to swallow here. Now, if we go into what our opponent has in their discard pile, they're only hitting for 80. Now they're hitting for 100 with their Vengeance Fletching. So that's okay. There's a Roaring Moon EX. If they put Roaring Moon EX down, it'd be really nice to knock that out. For us, I think what we're going to start off with is we're going to change the script, sending up the Tatsugiri, and we'll see how it all plays out here. We got another Iono. Before we do anything here, we could go ahead and try out Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri does get us, it could wipe a card out of our deck. I think what I want to go for here is thin a card out of the deck. I'm going to go Recon Directive, see if there's a piece that we get here. Got a Fire Energy, okay. I'm gonna put the fire energy onto the, we don't have any way to like double power things up, so that's like the part that really sucks. I think our best bet here is to just go like Arven, search, like the Earthen Vessel could be sick to start doing some other damage. I think Earthen Vessel is really cool here. I know our opponent has a pretty dead hand across the board. So yeah, I'm just going to probably go Earthen Vessel, thin these out a little bit where I can. Pitching those away, grabbing Psychic so we can start powering up some other Pokemon. And I'm going to go off the whim of our opponent having a rough hand. I'm going to bring up this Pokemon since it cannot retreat if they don't have an energy. And I'm just going to go Jet Headbutts. Sometimes you just gotta go and like punch into your opponent's Pokemon. And this is a game where it's like, I feel like we're like having a rough go. But they pitched our whole hand in order to get the knockout on our Drakloak. I know one of the two cards they had was a Roaring Moon EX. They might just have to pass here. And that's something that could be really tough for them to deal with. I'm really hoping that they just don't have a response of Darkness Energy. But like if we look through their discard pile, they've played 5 of their 7 energies. And they've also gone through a lot of their supporters. There's a very good chance that they're in an energy drought. If they had a way to pitch an energy, they would have played that Professor Sata's. So it would have been have to be off their prize cards, which is unlikely, or off the top card of their deck. This is how sometimes you could claw your way back into a game by making some educated hunches about what your opponent's doing. And I mean, right now you can see they're really thinking about it. They're not going through those pure emotions. This is how I'm clawing back into this game. Now I'm going to go Boss's Orders. You might be like, Zach, bring up the one that has the Ancient Booster Energy Capsule. I'm going to bring up the one that doesn't, so I'm not offering up more prize cards to our opponents. And I'm going to go ahead and go Phantom Dive, Knockout on their Radiant Greninja and their active. So I caught up to the game. Sure, they could hit me, but I did take away their draw engine, and they might not really have too much here. So I'll take the 2 prize cards, and then we can start getting set up. This Dragapult EX is going to be kind of hard for them to overcome, and we might have been able to stop our opponent in their tracks. I know they at least have a Roaring Moon EX on, like, in their hands. They might want to play that down. But right now it looks like they might just be struggling on what they should be doing, because as soon as this Roaring Moon goes down, they have nothing. My board is a Dragapult EX versus a basic Pokemon. Stage 2 Pokemon EX are sometimes worthwhile to set up, and this is really one of those cases where I feel like our opponent's kind of struggling through this game. Maybe they'll end up conceding or just like not going through an action, or they might be like, yeah, this is over, I'm gonna walk away. But I think it's absolutely over for them based off the way that they're just not playing through the situation. They might be hoping that I cancel out of this game by purposely looking like they're AFK. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and rip the active Pokemon. I don't think there's much that our opponent could have done. 200 damage knocks out their Roaring Moon, and we will take the dub here. Even though our opponent really did too much, I don't think they had anything that they could have done in that situation. Dragapult coming in clutch here. Second game in a row, we take those. And that's what we got going on for our video today. Hopefully you learned something new about the deck. I think I showed how the deck can get set up really well, and then how you can play out of when you're in a hole. Sometimes you'll find yourself in those situations where you're like, oh, I can't draw anything. You could play defensively and sometimes win games. Not sure exactly how valid that second game is, but I do think I played to every single out that I could, and that's why I'm going to be including it into this video. Again, I really appreciate everyone who's been watching our content lately. Seems like we're getting a new surge of some people watching. If you haven't got a chance, subscribe to the channel, like the video, let us know in the comments. I do get back to every single comment. For me, I've just been staying hydrated off this advanced GG, so those are helping me crush through these videos. Beyond that, check out all of our stuff. We've been doing some live openings for GameStop on our channel. We have a lot of deck profiles, top 10 best decks, a lot of really cool stuff going on. So check that all out. I appreciate all y'all watching, and I'll catch up with you real soon. Peace out and have a great day. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes. You made it to the end. Thank you so much for watching this entire video from the Shuffle Squad. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate each and every person that supports our content, watches what we have going on every single day, every single week, even from time to time, and continuously allows us to have a forum to project our creative content towards the Pokemon TCG community. So if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and even leave a comment to help boost the YouTube algorithm. That being said, we'll catch you with our next video. Thanks again. Take it easy.